Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Brandy and I am back with another monthly wrap up. Y'all, I know I say this for every single video, but why is the year moving by so fast? Like, where did June have to be? Like, did June have somewhere else to be? Because obviously June didn't need to be here. Because June came, said hey, and did. All right, y'all, so this month was a very good reading month for me. Like, I exceeded every single month in books this month, and my intentions was to slow it down so that I could be outside. I did not intend on reading as many books as I read, but I did, and I'm happy about it. So y'all know I have my notebook here for all of my stats, so I'm gonna read them off for you guys. I did 10 books this month. 10. My average is like 8, 9. My intentions was to stop at 8. But you guys know how Libby gets down. They be like, hey sis, I don't mean to be toxic, but here go those holds you requested months ago. Here go all of them. Here they go. So I was excited about it because I got to try out some new authors and I got to read some of the books that I've been waiting to read for a while. I just did not expect them to drop when they dropped, but I'm happy about it. So this month, I read 10 books. 5 of them were physical, 2 were ebooks, and 3 were audiobooks. 2 were part of a series. 1 I purchased physically after listening to the audiobook. One of the books was gifted from the author in exchange for a positive or a book review. So let's get started because your girl read 10 books, okay? She did. So the first book that I read is Magnolia Parks, and you guys know I've been pushing this book back since April, and I finally read it. I made it priority. This was the first book that I read, and y'all, I am so happy that I read it. Reference my reading vlog for this one. I'm not gonna go too deep into this in this video because I did an entire reading vlog. Just know it's toxic. There's no real storyline. If you like Gossip Girl, you would like this. It's giving Big Chuck Bass. It's giving Big Blair. Like, if you are a die-hard Gossip Girl fan, then you will freaking love this book. I rated it a 4-star. And that's all I got to say. If you want to know any more about how I feel about this book, go read my previous reading vlog for this because I gave y'all my true and raw thoughts and opinions while I was reading this book. So the next book that I read was actually an ebook, and it was called Recipe for Disaster by Monte Epperson. And this was gifted to me for a review on her Amazon account. So I went ahead and read the book, and it was pretty good. It was pretty good. It was a story about a chef and a guy who was part of his family's business. And the chef, she was trying to find her way in entrepreneurship, get her catering business off the ground. And in the midst of all that, she like, listen, I don't want no relationships. I already been there, done that. I'm trying to be straight and narrow. I'm trying to handle some business. My past relationship was trash. It didn't leave me well. I'm not trying to meet somebody else. Let me get my business off the ground. Her name was Jasper. And then this guy named David, he was part of his family business, and he had some previous relationship stuff that left him unwell as well. Ran into Jasper, was feeling Jasper. Jasper like, listen, we can be friends, but we cannot be lovers. She was like, I am a chef. I'm trying to get my catering business off the ground. I don't got time to be dating you, okay? And he like, but listen, I'm feeling you. I want a family. And you look like the type of girl that I can make my wife and have some kids with. So I want you to be my girl. it was a multiple point of view. So it was Jasper's point of view and David's point of view, which I absolutely love, because I love when we could get insight from both characters, not just the woman telling us what she think the man is thinking, or the man telling us what he think the woman is thinking. No, give me their insight. I want to know what they're talking about. Okay, I gave that book a 3.5 stars. I highly recommend. It is part of a series. I don't plan to go into the series, only because this book was gifted to me and it was not in my TBR. It was not in my reading list for the year. So I have no plans on getting into this series as of yet. I could change my mind later on down the year, but as of today, I don't have plans on getting into the series, but I do highly recommend this book. It's really good. So the next book that I read was called The Arrangement by Kirsten Moglin. And yeah, I was actually recommended this book by Danny from Danny Reads. If you follow Danny Reads, then you already know. She loves this series and she was just talking about it. And I think she was talking about the author over on her Bookstagram stories. And I asked her, like, which books do you recommend? And she was like, The Arrangement, period. Like, read the entire series. It's good. You're going to love it. So I went out to Libby. I put the first book on hold because my Libby only had book number 1. And y'all, it dropped. And when it dropped, I ate the book up. Like, the book was so good. The twist or twisting, I didn't see none of that stuff coming. Like, none of it. What I thought at the beginning of the book was absolutely incorrect. It had nothing to do with the end of the book. It is a domestic thriller. If that's your thing, I really think you should check it out. I gave it a 4 stars. Y'all, I highly recommend. I ended up purchasing book 2 as an ebook, so I do plan on finishing this series. I'm just so mad that my Libby app did not have book 2 and 3, because I'm like, how the heck I'm gonna read book 1 with y'all and y'all didn't complete the series? Be for real. Iced coffee break. This is just a simple iced coffee today. I brewed some coffee, I chilled it, whole milk, caramel syrup. That's it. Nothing special about it today. I just needed some, and it's actually pretty good. Like, simple and good. So the next book that I actually read was The Street Lawyer by John Grisham. Now, this was the book that I actually listened to via audiobook. And when I went to the Goodwill bookstore, I did a vlog. I went to the Goodwill bookstore and I found this book there. And this author here is coming like James Patterson. So when I went to the Goodwill bookstore, they had tons of his books. So he is an OG, okay? I think this book came out in 1999. I was I was recommended this book by my coworker. Now, my coworker has to be like in his 40s, maybe his 50s. So it makes sense that he recommended this book. This book was so good. The main character, I forget his name, Michael. The main character name is Michael. He is from Memphis, Tennessee in the book, and I love that because when they were talking about him going back home to visit his parents, I was just so familiar with where he was. I was like, yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. But this book is basically about a lawyer. He was a top-notch lawyer. Some stuff happened. Let me see if I can read the synopsis. Michael was in a hurry. He was scrambling up the ladder at Drake and Sweeney, a giant DC firm with 800 lawyers. The money was good and getting better. A partnership was 3 years away. He was a rising star with no time to waste, no time to stop, no time to toss a few coins into the cups of panhandlers. But a violent encounter with a homeless man stopped him cold. Michael survived, but the panhandler did not. Who was this man? Michael did some digging and learned that he was a mentally ill veteran who'd been in and out of shelters for many years. Then Michael dug a little deeper and found a dirty secret. And the secret involved Drake and Sweeney. The fast track derailed. The ladder collapsed. Michael bolted from the company and took a top secret file with him. He landed in the streets, an advocate for the homeless, a street lawyer, and a thief. So basically, like the synopsis says, Panhandler came into the business, held Michael and his team hostage for some reasons which will be disclosed in the book. The Panhandler killed himself, child. That's in the synopsis. He unalived himself, and Michael went digging, like, who is this guy? Why did this guy come here? And once he went digging, he was just like, wait a minute. I want to be on that side. I don't want to be on this side. I want to be on that side. I don't want to be with Drake and Sweeney. I want to be on that side, figuring out what's happening over there. Michael quits his job as a top-notch lawyer at Drake and Sweeney. He's almost at the top, okay, to be a street lawyer and represent the homeless. And when I say this book was so good, that's why I had to buy it. I had to buy it because it was just so good. I rated it a 4 stars. I had never read anything by this author. Like I said, he's up there with like James Patterson. When I posted the review on my Facebook page, everybody was raving about him. Everybody in the Facebook groups was like, yes, he is the bomb. Like, I believe this author has so many books that has turned into movies, and everybody was raving about that. They was like, yes, he has books that has turned into the best movies. And I was like, tell me something. So the next book that I read was an ebook, and it was Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. Y'all, I'm so excited to have read that book. First, let me give you the rating. The rating was infinity stars, okay? Infinity stars. The book was amazing. What I like about Abby Jimenez writing is that it is relatable. And I'm not talking about, yeah, we can relate to that character because, yeah, I got into a bad relationship too. No. I'm talking about, yeah, we can relate to that character because we work in healthcare. Like, she has a typical job. Yeah, we can relate to that character because he has anxiety issues. Yeah, we can relate to that character because she experienced a bad breakup and a divorce, and she did, you know, like, just relatable characters. Nothing in this book seemed fictional. I felt like I was watching a TV show of a story, like some true life stuff. Like, I just felt like it was true life. We follow 2 characters. I forget their names, Jacob and Brianna. They're both doctors. Jacob, he has bad anxiety issues, like severe anxiety issues, like for real. And then Brianna, she is going through a divorce because her trash ex-husband is trash. and they navigate through just life together. Brianna has a brother who needed some medical assistance. I'm not going to give that away because I can't remember if that's in the synopsis or not, so I don't really want to spoil it for you guys. But when I say the story is amazing, I don't want to say anything else because I'm afraid I'm going to spoil it. All I can say is the hype is real about Abby's books. If you read this book, please read the author's note. Read the author's note. You're gonna have a different type of love for Abby after you read her author's note. I was crying when I read her author's note, a happy cry, but it was amazing. And when I say this book is an infinity stars, it is. If you are a romance girly or a guy that loves romance, I highly recommend. I already have Just for the Summer on my TBR for the summer, but I gotta go back and read the first book. It's in blue. I forget the name. I'll put it here. But I'm gonna go back and read that one. I think it's Part of Your World. I think that's it. Because a lot of people are like, make sure you go read that one first before you get into Just for the Summer. Because I was gonna read them out of order because I'm gonna read them in a way that Libby tell me to read them. If Libby say, here you go, sis, that's how I'm gonna read it. Whichever one Libby drops first, I'm reading it like that. It's an interconnected series anyway, so they can be read as standalones. But y'all, highly, highly, highly recommend. Every time I see this book, I'm going to talk about it. So the next book that I read is Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris. Y'all, this book is, I know a lot of people are familiar with this book. It's a thriller. It came out like some years ago, like maybe early 2000 teens or something like that. Like it's been out, but it's circling the block and everybody is reading it. And y'all, I don't really know what to say about this book. Let me tell you this. Frida McFadden definitely was inspired by this book. Frida McFadden was inspired by this book when she wrote The Housemaid, all the way down to the character name. And I did not let that deter the way I felt about the book, but I could definitely see where people are saying that Frida McFadden be stealing ideas from other authors. And I don't really try to get into that mess, but she did. She did, because I was reading, I was like, wait a minute. This story sounds familiar. This name, this character name, oh, okay. But let's get into how I felt about the book. The book was not booking for me. It was not giving thriller. It was not giving suspense. I feel like everything was handed to me. Like, we're going to pull up to the restaurant. We're going to buy something to eat. They're going to eat this. This is how they liked it. There was nothing like trying to figure out who's doing what, trying to figure out when the suspense is. I was trying to figure, where's the suspense? What? You telling us? Like, they were literally telling us the plot twist. Like, we was given the plot twist before the plot twist happened. So when the plot twist happened, I was like, we already knew that. I'm confused. So overall, I gave it a 3-star. I have another book. I actually read that book as a physical copy. I borrowed it from my aunt. So while I was reading it, I had it, gave it back to my aunt. But I do have another book. Where is it? The Prisoner. I have The Prisoner by B.A. Paris. So I'm going to give B.A. Paris another chance. I'm not going to let that book deter me from reading any more of her books. But what I can say was it didn't hit the mark for me. And for me to be a popcorn thriller girl, I was surprised that one didn't hit the mark for me, because it should have, but it really didn't. I was left like, what? I was engaged at the beginning, y'all. I was in my backyard reading and everything, but I was like, okay, y'all giving me all this information. There's nothing here for me to figure out. And the suspense ain't suspensing. So yeah, 3 stars. I mean, if you want to read it, read it. I'm not going to tell you to read it. So the next book that I finally read is 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. And y'all, it has been confirmed. Tia Williams she's an Audible author for me. I'm getting all of her books going forward. I actually want to go ahead and read The Perfect Fun. Like, this book was so freaking good. It was so freaking good. I know y'all seen this all over TikTok, Bookstagram, BookTube, so I'm not going to read no synopsis or nothing like that. What I can say, for me, the hype was real. The hype was real. And if you know anything about me, I don't be caring about the hype of books. I like to form my own opinion. But for this one, the hype was very much real. What I can say is, if you do not read the prologue, this is going to piss you off. The end is going to piss you off. The prologue ties the knots. It brings it back, baby. It brings everything back. What did I rate this book? 4 stars. 4 stars. I actually talked about it more in my last video where I was reading the last books of my TBR for June. So if you want to hear more commentary about this book, go check that video out, because it should be already out. Y'all, I really, really love this book. Like, at this point, anything Tia Williams drop, take my card. Take my card. All right, so the next book that I read was 710 Split. This book was my Pride Month book pick. I wanted to read something with queer representation for Pride Month. This book too is something that I read in my previous video as well to finish up my June TBR. It was cute. It was a cute little read. It was just cute. I gave this book a 3.5 stars. If you go reference the video, because I gave a whole bunch of information in the video. I don't even want to go through it in this video. All I can say is it's spicy. It's not a YA book. Don't let this cover fool you. It is not YA. It has some spice in it. It was fun. Will I continue to read the series? I'm not sure, because a book 2 is coming out next winter, and it's about one of the sisters in a book, but I'm not sure if I want to continue reading the series, only because we didn't get a lot of information about the sister in the first book. So it doesn't make me, it's not intriguing. Like, it doesn't make me want to read a part 2. We didn't get much from the sister, so I'm like, I'm good. But that could change. You know, we're mood readers and our moods change. Would I recommend this book? Yeah, because it's cute and it's fun. Would I read it again? Probably not, but it was good. So the last physical book that I read, which was a highly anticipated book for me this year, was Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose. And I know a lot of people have been reading this book lately. So many mixed reviews out there. Everybody's talking about it. Do I need to go over the synopsis? I don't think I do. As we all know, Geneva is an auto-buy author for me, or auto-read author for me. I'm not going to say auto-buy because do I got all her books? No. But I do and have read all of her books. This was the last one that I needed to read. And what I can say is, first of all, I gave this book a 4-star. Okay, let's start there. I gave it a 4-star. The story had me engaged. I was very much engaged. Was it a slow burn? Yes. Was it super thrilling? Super, no. But did you want to figure out what the heck happened? Yes. Did I continue to read it because I was thoroughly engaged? Yes. I did this as a buddy read, and we did it on Fable. The conversation we was having was so much fun. It just really made you want to continue to read the book. So I really enjoyed it. Is it her best? No. Is Perfect Marriage still the best book made by her? To me, yes, it is. So the last book that I read, and Libby just dropped this one out the air for me, and I'm so happy she did, because to me, Libby is a she. So happy she did. Like, sometimes Libby could be real toxic, and she could be like, sis, you finna wait 2,055 days for this book. Then sometimes she could be like, sis, you gonna get it in 6 weeks. And then she drop it tomorrow. And I'm happy she did. So this book is Whoopi Goldberg's book. I'm gonna put the picture up here, of course, because it was an audiobook. And y'all, I do not rate nonfiction. I do not rate memoirs. But what I can say about this book is I highly recommend. I freaking highly recommend. She talks about her mom and her brother. What I didn't realize was Whoopi Goldberg is the same age, or around the same age as my grandmother. For some reason, I thought she was in the same age range as my parents. She's not. She's the same age range as my grandmother, and what she did was she wrote a book of how she felt about her mom and her brother before she can't remember it anymore, right? Because she's getting older. Her mom and her brother has passed away, and outside of her household, it's only her left. Of course, she has a daughter and she's a grandmother, but her household was just her brother, and her mom, and they're both gone. And so she wrote this book because she genuinely wanted to tell us how she felt about her mom and her relationship with her brother before she forgets. And y'all, her mom and brother would be so proud. Like, her mom and brother would be so proud. Whoopi is amazing. She is amazing. And first of all, I did not know her name was Karen. I did not know she was a Karen. She don't give Karen energy, but her name is Karen. And y'all, do this audiobook. Listen to the audiobook. The experience is amazing. You're not going to get this experience if you read the physical copy. She narrates it herself. I literally felt like I was on the phone with her. Every time I paused the book, I was like, Whoopi, hold on real quick. Hold on, girl. Hold on. Because her commentary, I know she didn't write her commentary in the book. I know she didn't. She was saying extra stuff that I know she didn't write in the book. Her laughing, you can't get her laughing in no physical book. You can't get that. Like, it's not gonna be there. The extra sidebar conversations, y'all not gonna get the sidebar conversations in the physical book. I mean, y'all can buy the physical book because I'm buying it for my bookshelf as a trophy, but y'all are not going to get the experience that you get in the audio book. Call Whoopi Goldberg and talk to her, aka go get the audio book. Circle the block. Let me know how you felt about it. Now, I know a lot of people don't do memoirs, a lot of people don't do nonfiction. That's cool, but I'm a memoir girly, especially when it comes to celebrities that I love, grew up watching, grew up listening to. I want to know more about them. And I'm glad. I'm so glad. When I say she gave her mom grace, she loved the heck out of her mom. Her mom was an amazing woman. She was amazing. The way she taught Whoopi, the way she instilled morals into Whoopi, like her brother, amazing. Just amazing. I can't talk about this book much more than this. Like, if you follow me on Bookstagram, y'all already know I was talking about the book in my stories. You will do yourself a disservice if you do not listen to this book via audio. You just will. Similar to reading Will Smith's book. If you know, you know. If you do not do it via audiobook, you're doing yourself a disservice. That's all I'm saying. Highly recommend. I do not rate books that are memoirs and nonfiction. Highly, highly, highly recommend. Run to your Libby app. Go ahead and put it on hold because you're going to love it. All right, y'all. So that is pretty much all of the books I read in the month of June. I had a phenomenal reading month. It was so fun. I went on a road trip and was able to read on the road. Went to get my hair done, so I was able to read at the hair salon. I was reading at work. Like, I had an amazing reading month. Will I read the same books in July? I don't know. Because you know what? Me and my husband's anniversary is in July, and I'm trying to be outside with my husband. I'm trying to be outside. The kids gonna be gone in July. I'm trying to be outside. So we don't know what we gonna read. But y'all already know what books I want to read because I already filmed a what I want to read this summer video. So give this video a big thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what your favorite book of the month of June was. Let me know what was your favorite read for the month of June. Make sure you come back and continue watching my videos. Until next time, peace out.